All right. Welcome to FU Sports. We are doing a live play-by-play of Diaz versus Jake Paul. This is our second attempt at this. I'm here joined by Bob. How's it going, Bob? What are you doing, Bob?
I'm thinking about how skin is a wonderful invention.
All right, so skin is wonderful.
Tardigrades are immortal.
We got Francis Ngannou right now on the pay-per-view card. This is our second attempt. And we are FU Sports. And
you're right on time.
And you are right on time. If you've ever heard us before, we're usually late.
No, we're on time.
Yep, we're
the
not.
Relevant coverage begins when we arrive, we're exactly on time.
Yeah, so the main event hasn't started. We got on earlier. We had some issues with our mics. I had to fix it. I hope it's not messed up, but in the future, we got a whole setup here, audio booth and all that. It should be getting better and better as we're going along. So, Joe Pesci was on here earlier.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
He had lots of feelings about things.
Yep, he had a lot of feelings about the production here at FU Sports, but it's getting better. It's gonna get better. It's getting better and better and better. I mean, look at the wall. Look at this. We even got people who came over here. They walked past the wall. A couple of people
made an appearance.
No, the pigeon didn't come yet. I'm gonna see. I got some people over here. I'm gonna see if I can get the pigeon. Where is the pigeon? I'm gonna see if I can get you guys the FU pigeon. FU Sports pigeon. We have Francis Ngannou right now on the pay-per-view talking some trash. That is the official FU Sports pigeon. There he is. He's walking past. There you go. Okay, we're gonna see if we can listen to a little bit of the pay-per-view.
There's no reason. Francis
we're gonna listen.
is talking smack and
he's probably talking shit about John Jones.
The best of the best. I think.
Hey Bob, can you check the website and see if that's coming through? We're gonna see if the audio is coming through the live stream for the pay-per-view.
I'm going.
All right, so he's talking about Tyson Fury right now. He's talking about beating Tyson Fury. All right, so we had tons of technical difficulties today.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'm looking for my phone. This is being streamed to FU TV. I'm gonna start streaming directly to FU Sports in the future, but I like to put it on FU TV because a lot of people get to see it.
Yeah, it's surreal. All this is surreal. This is my night, and Logan's here to join along.
This looks really weird. Jake Paul right now looks like he was beat up. He looks beat up. Look at his face. Jake Paul's face looks beat up.
Yeah, when he was playing rock paper scissors before.
That's so weird. Like if you look,
his face did not look like that when he was playing rock paper scissors before.
Yeah, Jake Paul looks beat up. It's odd. He looks like he took a couple of punches. Maybe they were doing some rough housing.
That's also one whopper of a pimple he's got going on there.
All my life, people have been trying to doubt me. All my life, people have been trying to hold me back, saying I can't do stuff.
It sounds echoey for some reason.
Walking out all my life.
Just leave it alone. I don't know why they let
sorry
fighters
if our
come
audio
in with
sounds
these
echoey.
big giant beards.
All right, so we got Jake Paul right now. They're showing him warming up in the back. They're showing him warming up in the back room.
No, they're showing an advertisement for Celsius energy drinks.
All right, so we got some Celsius energy drinks, really. Okay, they're doing the tail of the tape.
What? Who picked that picture of Nate Diaz?
He's like doing some weird thing.
What in the world is happening?
He's sticking his hand under his armpits.
He looks like he's doing that thing where they do the superstar and smell his underpits.
Yeah, that's what I think. He's like smelling his own armpits. Francis Ngannou's still going on.
He loves the sound of his own voice.
All right, I'm checking the audio of the stream to see if it's not as echoey. Maybe if I talk. I don't understand. I don't know what that sounds like. All right, so we're trying to. I'm just trying to check the audio, see if it's good. I can hear us, but it still does sound echoey to me. Hopefully, it doesn't sound echoey. You guys, if there's anyone in the chat, just tell us if the audio sounds echoey. If not, this is FU Sports. We're doing a breakdown of the, actually we're doing a play-by-play of the Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul.
And as usual, the fight is running approximately an hour and a quarter behind schedule.
Was it running late?
Didn't you say that it was going to start at 11? It's now midnight.
Well, I guess the other fights ran a little longer.
Sean Porter looks like a little shrimplet. And that's a very, like, Sears 2012 shirt and tie combo he's wearing.
Alright, so we got Jake Paul sort of warming up. He's really obsessed with duality. He's always got white and black on. It's really weird. He's sorry, this is some really bad this is some bad mitt work here from Jake Paul. That is not a good jab. He's practicing his jab.
So why does he have all these tattoos all of a sudden? Is this new? I mean, I don't really follow the Paul brothers.
Alright, we're gonna see, I just saw we're live. Okay, as it says, the stream ended 10 minutes ago. This is what it's saying right now. On this.
Why does he have all these tattoos all of a sudden? Is this new?
It does. We're gonna see, I just saw we're live. I'm testing the audio.
Nate Diaz is looking pretty good.
It's saying right now.
I don't think that surprises anybody. When Nate Diaz isn't like super drained, he's a good fighter. I'm curious to see what happens in this match.
Well, who's super drained?
I said as long as he's not super drained, Nate Diaz will.
He's not going to be drained. He's coming up in weight.
Yeah, I know. I said when he's not super drained, he's a good fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, he's most likely very hydrated. He's just much smaller than Jake.
Yeah, like you were saying before, it looks like he ate his way to the weight.
Yeah, he's much bigger. When you speak, don't speak towards me. Speak towards this because it's got the bounce right there. Yeah, we're just trying to get our audio right. We're watching the warm-up. Both fighters are warming up. They're all in the back room warming up. I gotta listen. I gotta get some longer headphones. That's for damn sure. Let's see what we got here. Just trying to get our stream fixed up over here. Yeah. We'll get there eventually, don't worry.
So do you still think Diaz is going to win?
I think Jake, if Diaz has any hope of winning, I think I gotta lower this right now. Give me one moment. I gotta lower this because the pay-per-view is very loud. All right, I think the hope that I think the only hope for Nate is to go to the body. And he's got to go quick because I think what Jake is going to do is he's going to hold the hell out of him. He's gonna be trying to wrestle the hell out of him the entire time. That's what I see happening. So what do you think's gonna happen?
I don't know, but I really don't like the fact that Jake Paul exists.
Yeah.
So I just think that he's everything wrong with society.
What do you mean by that?
As a concept.
Well, right now they got Jake Paul in the back.
He buys his way into things. He has absolutely no work ethic. He capitalizes on being a piece of shit. Like, that's his big claim to fame.
He's playing the heel. He's playing the heel. It's sort of like the WWE.
Is he playing the heel, or is he just a heel and it is convenient?
He's making a lot of money for people by talking trash. People are gravitating to that. Why Sean Porter's got problems with his suit? He is really tiny.
Sean Porter looks like he is wearing a suit that his mom picked out at Sears in 1997. And he's on his way to church.
It's really weird. It's really weird. I don't like his suits. I don't like his extra thick ties. They just look really. It looks odd. I don't know. He's always got
too small for a tie of that size.
A guy can never wear a black suit and a black tie. He's always got to wear like a freaking purple suit with like a teal, like lime green tie, and like he always got to be real cheesy with it, you know.
And that underbite makes him look a bit like a Pekingese.
All right, so these guys are having their little conversation. If you want to hear a little more of it. Here we go. Trying to get that audio back in here. All right, so if anybody's watching this, you tell us what your picks are for the Nate versus Jake Paul fight. Sorry we got here late. We're making an effort in the future to be here before the card starts, not towards the very end of it. This is our second attempt at the stream. The first one was broken because I had some issues with my microphone, and Bob's mic got messed up, so we fixed it. They're now doing the tail of the tape. They have the tail of the tape. Jake Paul is 26 years old. Watch that dog.
Pictures with Nate.
We got 38. Nate Diaz is 38 years old. Jake Paul is 6'1". Nate is 6 foot tall. Jake, they're saying, is 185 pounds, and Nate came in under the weight limit. He came in 184.5, I think it was.
It was 0.9.
Oh, 0.9. Okay,
Well,
so.
but who is doing Nate dirty and picking those pictures? Because Lord,
I mean, he
he
always
looks
tries to
like
look like
an
a mean.
angry potato.
He always tries to look like a mean kind of frog.
But he just looks like, that meme
Yeah.
of the frog that goes
No,
like,
I don't.
Meh. I have to find it and send it to you. It's
Yeah, you
really
can
funny,
send it
but
to me
like
later.
that's what Nate Diaz looks like, and he's
Yeah.
all crunched up, looking all crazy. Like, what? Who? Like, did he take the picture himself, standing in a cubbyhole?
I seen a lot of dudes like that. They always want to look tough, so they'll take like the worst picture possible.
It doesn't make you look tough.
No, it doesn't.
Pro tip: it makes you look dumb.
All right, so Jake is now about to enter the. He's gonna get on the stage. They have Jake is actually the first man out the door. I thought it was gonna end up being Nate and then Jake, but it looks like I'm gonna guess that Nate obviously is the bigger fighter. Like people would say Jake, and not. I mean, they would say Jake is the draw, right? But he's really not. I think the thing with Jake is that people just hate him. They just don't like him, so they want to see him lose, and that's one of the reasons he draws attention. I mean, he's just a suburban little kid who pretends to be a gangster. And he's walking to the ring with some rapper.
Oh gosh, with the balaclava.
It's really weird.
For literally no reason.
Yeah, what was that? He had a can. He had a can of something.
Probably a can of that stupid energy drink that Paul has been
Right? The Logan Paul has the
advertising
energy
this
drink,
entire
right?
time. It just feels like an embarrassment to the sport, to be quite honest. Like the fact that he's been able to attain this level of attention and this level of fight when there are people who have spent their entire lives working towards this, just because he happens to be a successful YouTuber. And he's successful for doing stupid stuff. Like, he's not even successful for being talented. He's successful for being annoying.
What the
Like,
fuck
he's
is
a
this
menace,
piece of
and
shit?
therefore he's somehow able to hop, skip, and jump across people who have actually put in the work.
Yeah.
It's very irritating to me. And if I was a boxer, if I was a fighter, I'd be very annoyed that this fool is in here having a main event fight with a legitimate fighter.
Yeah. But I mean, it's an MMA fighter. He's been training boxing for a couple of years now. And he's
but
fighting
even still, like Logan Paul or Jake Paul or whichever one of the two of them this is, should be not here. Like,
Yeah.
ugh. You want to talk about nepotism and being able to buy your way into things. Like, this is the definition.
Well, I mean, that's the new age we live in. It don't matter what you get the attention from. Just as long as you get attention, lots of attention, you can get into something like this, a sport. So you can literally be a person who knits and get into a pro boxing fight, and the promotion company will get behind you. Like, I would put money that the Cash Me Outside girl could go and fight someone in a pro boxing ring nowadays. This is the circus this has become.
Hot take. Cash Me Outside girl, her whole career is based on threatening to punch people.
Yeah,
I think that would actually be interesting.
Yeah, she can go and fight Dr. Phil. Cash her outside. They can do on a street corner. They can make the ring look like a street corner.
Yes.
And he beats the fuck out of her. He just punches her one good time. All right, we got Nate Diaz is now walking to the ring. He's also wearing black and white. Kind of odd. What, Jake Paul bought his outfit?
They coordinated.
He looks kind of like a string bean with gloves on.
He does.
It's really weird. He looks like those things they have in the parking lots that draws attention.
Yeah.
And the audio thing. He's just so skinny looking.
Well, because this isn't his weight. This isn't his weight class.
No, it's not. He's a lightweight in the UFC. He seems kind of pretty confident.
He's pretty confident because he's taken on loudmouth, overly tattooed juicers before.
I think where he needs
and
to,
he put him to sleep last time.
he needs to go to the body. That's where he needs to go. And that, if you notice, Jake Paul had a video out there where this female boxer was punching him in the stomach, and he was having issues. So it was probably not a good idea releasing that video. Maybe that was like an omen or something, or like, maybe Nate's gonna beat him with body shots, right?
I hope Nate just absolutely trounces
All right,
him.
so everybody's cheering for Nate, standing ovation. Everyone is going crazy. Everybody loves Nate Diaz. They love the Diaz brothers. These guys are legends in combat sports. Nate Diaz is in the ring, and our fight is about to
I
begin.
feel like Nate Diaz is the one that they call out to humble the overly cocky upstart, just like he did with Conor McGregor, who's also a piece of shit. But at least he's a piece of shit who worked his way up in the ranks. He didn't just buy his way.
Yeah. He didn't know. He's not known. No, what's his name? Jake Paul.
Yeah.
He's no Jake Paul.
At least he kind of, for whatever it's worth, earned his way into the ring with
Yeah, he
his
did.
mouth mostly.
He did. He pretty much worked his way up there.
Jake Paul could be the nicest guy in the world, but the fact that he has capitalized on being an asshole and taken the place of an actual fighter who's actually put in the work and the time, I can't get behind it. I'm sorry. Hot take. I hope he actually gets the brakes beat right off of him. And I feel like they should have to shave. If you're going to go into a combat sport where striking is a component and a scoring factor and a danger factor, you should have to be clean shaven when you go in. And if there's a religious prohibition that would prevent you from being clean shaven, then you shouldn't be able to get into a title fight.
Sorry
Because
about the
it's
bell,
an
guys.
unfair advantage.
Sorry, I played the bell a bunch by accident. Looped it. All right, so Jimmy Leonard Jr. right now in the middle of the ring. He is announcing both fighters. I'm being joined here by Bob. We are watching Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz for the, clown show prize. I don't know. This is a weird fight. We got a YouTuber.
The winner gets the red nose of destiny.
Is that what they said? Did I get a title for this one? Some kind of weird title?
No, I was just making fun of the fact that you said clown. All
right, Jake.
Little honking red nose.
All right, we got everybody is booing Jake Paul right now.
Good.
Jake Paul's hanging out with Jalen Love. Jake Paul's real happy because he's got fighting this little tiny guy. But this little tiny guy is very, very tough. If he can't knock Jake...
I mean, he's going against a Mexican. That's not
well,
a good idea.
I predict a lot of hugging, a lot of holding. But guess what? Nate Diaz can wrestle. Jake Paul can wrestle too. He had a wrestling background, but he don't have one as good as Nate. Nate's been doing it for a long time. So I'm predicting Jake's going to come in there. He's going to throw a punch grab, punch grab, punch grab, punch grab. That's what's going to end up happening. He thinks he's going to get a knockout, and he might just get himself knocked out because Nate's got he's a southpaw. He's a southpaw. Has Jake ever fought a southpaw? Nope. He never has. And I think Nate is a little sloppy with his technique, but he's durable. He's a durable guy. Very durable. I predict a lot of holding from Jake. A lot of
It looks
wrestling.
like his trunks were, his name is on them all crooked.
I mean, it's like a cartoon.
Was he over there with like an iron and those
Nate
like
is
press-on letters you get from Michaels?
Yeah, it's messed
Putting
up.
his name on his own pants.
I mean, he looks so like he just looks like he looks like so out of shape. It's insane.
He looks like a tan Matt Damon.
He does look a little like a Mexican Matt Damon.
He doesn't look like a Mexican. He looks like Matt Damon with like a mild tan and a buzz cut.
Does he even have a tan? He's pretty light to me.
I mean, he's tanner than Matt Damon.
Matt
Damon's got the complexion of a piece of.
All right, we're going into round number 1.
No, we're not. There's going to be at least like 45 more minutes of kerfuffleation in the middle of the ring for no reason. That is a hell of a pimple, man.
That is a hell of a beard he has there. Like, look at that beard that Jake Paul has. Like, that shit, he should have made him cut that off.
I said that before.
Yeah, you're right. He should have. That is a very thick beard.
That's a pillow.
That is a thick beard.
They should check and see if that's a toupee.
He might have put something in there, right?
That doesn't look like his hair texture.
Jake, they're both men in the ring. They just touched gloves. We're going to round number
He's wearing a
1.
chin wig.
All right. All right, both men are on separate ends of the ring. I got my bell, just keeps going off. All right, we're about to go in.
Oh, is that Brenda?
All right, here we go.
His mommy. I've decided her
All
name is
right,
Brenda.
Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is bouncing, all comfortable. Better put his hands up. Nate, gotta have your hands up. He's got his hands low.
He never has his hands
He
up.
should have them high. This is not an MMA fight.
He's relying on his
Nate
Mexican
Diaz is
chin.
bouncing around on his toes. Pretty light on his feet. Jake Paul, heavy up top.
Jake Paul looks scared.
Not really thick on his legs.
Jake Paul looks
Diaz,
scared. He looks
yes.
like he's fighting nervous.
Nate Diaz, it looks like Jake is trying to set up that right hand. Jake lands a decent right hook to the body. Nate Diaz is coming in with his hands down, taunting.
He's doing his usual.
He's taunting.
Nate
He's
Diaz.
taunting Jake right now. Jake throws a big left hook and completely misses. Really sloppy work from Jake Paul. Nate Diaz unfazed at all. This is a veteran in the ring with a guy who's had barely any fights. You've got a little wolf versus a big pig, right? And Nate slips on something that was on the ground. Huh?
A little wolf.
Well, I'd say Nate is the little wolf. Jake throws a big right hand, completely misses. Then a left hook that seems to like hurt Nate. Nate's hurt, or he's cut. He's hurt.
Nate is
Jake,
always getting.
Jake throws big right hands. He's a bigger guy. He's a bigger man. Throwing a lot of punches on Nate.
Oh dear.
He's trying.
Nate.
They're saying first round knockout. He's throwing a lot of leather at Nate. I mean, come on. Nate can't wrestle. He can't do anything. He's holding. He's doing pretty good. Jake's throwing a lot of stuff. He might tire himself out. 2 rabbit punches from Jake there. Jake is going to tire himself out. You do that against Nate or the Diaz brothers, you're going to sleep. You do not throw your.
I think that he got excited.
Yeah,
He
you do
saw
not
blood,
throw a lot of energy versus these guys.
but
You will
Nate
get knocked out.
Bleeds.
Yep, Jake is taking a deep breath here. Nice straight right hand from Jake. All Jake has is a right hand. That's all he has. He has tried his hardest to knock Nate out, and it didn't work. And the referee breaks him up for no good reason, of course, because Jake's supposed to win, right? All right, so Jake is winning this round so far. Nate's eating some pretty
but
decent
Nate
shots.
always does this. He cruises through the first round, sees what
Okay,
the
this is
other
a 10
guy's
round.
got,
This is also a 10-round fight.
but he does this. He lets the other guy.
Oh no! I wouldn't be surprised if Nate knocked him out, because guess what? That kid threw a lot of energy away. He threw
I
a
know.
lot of
He just
energy
was
there,
gasping
and he is
for air.
gassing a little bit right now. He's a muscular guy. He had to cut down in weight. He is much bigger than Nate. That is for sure. Nate ate all his punches, and he is not hurt. Now he's hitting Jake with small little punches. Here on the inside, and Nate's winning the hand fighting on the inside. He's hitting Jake with all these little punches. Nate needs to put his hands up. He needs to put his hands up. I don't know what he's thinking.
Nate will ever put his hands up. He doesn't.
Hey,
believe in
he's
it.
so used to MMA that, watching for the takedowns. He's slipping these right hands from Jake. He's a little sloppy in his technique. He needs to really start pivoting into these shots. He's kind of throwing a lot of arm
I think
punches.
he wanted to see what Jake Paul had to offer.
Nate's throwing a lot of arm punches. And he looks a little gassed the way Nate walked away. Not a fan. I'd say that's a Jake Paul round, but it was interesting. Nate has his hands up.
This is so far what I'm seeing is a typical Nate Diaz fight.
I mean, if
Nate Diaz cruises through round
Jake
one.
Paul better not gas out, because he's got some problems coming.
Nate Diaz bleeds because that's what he does. Then he's like, that didn't hurt so bad. All right, whatever. And then he starts dicking around and taunting. And then he puts the gas on it round 3.
Yes.
This is what he does every
Okay.
fight. This
We're going into round number 2.
This is like a by the book Nate Diaz round 1.
Okay, we're going to check my scorecard right now. This is the official FU Sports scorecard. Okay, we're going to see what you guys see here. All right, we had the first round for Jake Paul. Just a lot of leather being thrown by Paul. Nothing too impressive. They're showing highlights right now. Jake Paul's landing with not really the best part of the glove. He's landing with the pinkies.
That It's a decent body
We're
shot.
going into the body shot was decent. Okay, we're going into round number 2. We're in round number 2 right now. Nate is pressing forward.
Nate has decided it's an MMA fight.
Fight. Fight.
Nate just tried to tackle.
All right, Nate is pressing forward hard right now.
Nate
Oh, he's
forgot
shooting
that
in.
he
I don't like
boxed.
the way he's shooting in, but he is going to make this kid work. I think he is making him work. That's what you got to do. You got to press on him and let him throw all his energy away. Jake shoots him. Big right hand. Completely misses. Jake is garbage. Oh, my God. Those big right hands. Jake is doing exactly what I said he would. Jake is getting scared. He is coming in for clinches now.
Well, I think Jake really thought that
Jake might have made himself a big mistake in this one.
Jake thought he was going to knock him out in one
Yep,
round.
that's what he thought. And it didn't work. He's starting to get hit.
He seems to have forgotten.
Jake
he's fighting a
Paul
Mexican.
is getting Nate Diaz right now. He is gassing, and Nate
Nate Diaz is just doing
and Nate
what
is
he
just
does.
getting started. It looks like Jake is throwing a big right hand. Jake is doing a punch and grab, exactly like I said he would
And
do.
that was a nice bitch
Jake
slap
is
off
very
the clinch.
predictable fight. He's eating some decent shots on the inside. Left hook, one after another from Nate Diaz. Beating Jake on the inside, beating him up. Left hook, left hook, left hook. He's hitting Jake with a lot of punches on the inside.
a nice head
He is
slap.
pressing on Jake. Go to the body, Nate. You got to go to the body, man.
I
Go to
think
that.
Nate
Oh,
is-
left hook. Nate Diaz is pressing on Jake Paul. Jake Paul. He is now taunting Jake Paul. Jake is getting beat up on the inside. He is
Jake
eating.
is now
Jake Paul is
also-
eating short left hook, and now Nate Diaz mushed him like he was a punk.
Because he is a
And the ref is giving him a warning. Jake Paul has thrown his wad. He's blown his load. Left
Oh.
straight for Nate
Oh, that
for
was
Nate
nice.
Diaz. Nate Diaz is pressing on Paul, and Paul is wilting. The bigger man is being broken down. Nate is taunting Jake Paul. Jake Paul thought he would. I think Jake Paul thought he would bring this guy up to this
and
super
Nate's
high
doing
weight class.
exactly what he wants. He's just mushing
He
in.
is.
This is. I told you this is a textbook Nate
Yep.
Diaz round one.
He's gonna try to Paul. Decent body shot from Jake Paul. Straight right hand to the
Yeah,
body.
sure,
Big right hand from Jake Paul.
has some punch power, but like
He's a bigger man. He's way bigger. He's a light heavy. He's a freaking light heavyweight. Left hook lands on Jake Paul. Nate hits Jake Paul with a knife's left hook and then laughs at Jake.
and is boxing his ears
He's
off.
beating him with. They're not even like big punches. Jake's
No,
throwing a
he's
lot of.
just touching
He's throwing a lot of arm. Oh, Jake Paul's doing the punch and grab. He is holding for his life. Jake Paul
Nate
is.
Diaz is just touching
Jake
him
Paul
'cause he
is
can.
clinching like crazy. Okay, we got the guys both in the middle of the ring. Jake Paul.
That looked like a
it
nicely lined up ball shot.
Yeah, it looked like it. Jake Paul
Looked
is.
like he was going for the old.
All Jake has is
the
a right
old
hand.
Terrence Crawford testicle tornado.
Jake Paul. Look, it's all clinching from Jake. Jake is gonna. Oh, Nate is just landing all these little
It
body
looks
shots.
like Nate was
little
about
body.
to
Oh, he's
spank
beating
him.
on Logan. Jake Paul. Jake. All right, that was a Nate Diaz round. That was a Nate Diaz round.
Nate Diaz not only landed the more effective shots, but he was also controlling the ring. He was controlling the pace.
He was.
You know, it was. But this is exactly what you expect to see from Nate Diaz. He cruises through round one. He starts to show up in round two, and in round three, he makes you pay for being a cocky bastard.
But he's fighting a light heavyweight. That's the crazy
Yeah,
part.
but
This
that's
kid
the
is a
thing.
light heavyweight.
It almost matters less because he has a greater degree of skill, experience, and strategy. Jake Paul was 100% banking on hitting Nate a bunch really hard in the first round and knocking him out. And I'm sure everybody in his team told him that's what he's going to do. But that's not real life because he seems to have forgotten he's fighting a Mexican.
All right, we got Nate winning round number 2. What do you got, Bob? Who you got winning that? We're going to round number 3 right now.
Fight.
And this time, Jake Paul decides it's an MMA fight and tries to wrestle.
Jake Paul hits Nate with a headbutt. Jake Paul is wrestling like crazy. My prediction was on point. Jake Paul is trying to wrestle for his life.
You
He is wrestling for his life, and Nate is pressing forward.
And Nate is totally unimpressed by any of it.
Jake Paul is in the 3rd round of this fight, and he is gassed. He is gassed in what is this, 6 minutes of fighting.
And now Nate
Nate has
Diaz-
gone 25 minutes many times.
Now Nate Diaz is just going to big
Left
slap him
straight
for
for
the
Nate
next,
Diaz.
How many rounds?
He's
going
gonna
to
press on for for a bunch
For the
more
next
rounds.
21 minutes, Nate
This
Diaz
guy
is going to bitch
yeah,
slap Jake
this
Paul.
dude is totally. Jake Paul is completely gassed.
That was a nice
completely gassed.
testicle shot from Jake
Jake
Paul.
is wrestling for his life. This is.
Nate might actually push him out of the ring.
He needs. Nate needs to start going to that body. Go to that body.
I think Nate is.
Oh,
just,
big left hook from Jake Paul, and
But
Nate ate it.
Did he eat it or did he miss? I
And he
feel
hit
like
him.
he
Oh,
was
straight
still
left hand
back.
from Nate Diaz lands right on Paul, right in his
That's a
face.
nice uppercut from
Nice
Diaz,
straight
too.
left hand. Ball is hitting him with a lot of headbutts, man.
You know,
Big uppercut from
you
Jake.
don't have a chin that big and not use it.
Oh, Nate hits him with another straight left hand. Paul is scared. He is running. He is so scared. He's wrestling his ass off. This man is not even fighting anymore. He is just simply running away.
And Nate Diaz is just strolling.
he is
across the
running
ring.
and holding. This is exactly what I thought it was going to be. He's just running and holding for his life. He's trying to do the punch and grab, but it wasn't working. They're saying the crispness of Jake Paul. the crispness of Jake Paul. He's landing nothing.
watching
He's
the same
shooting
fight?
in with headbutts. He's hitting Nate with headbutts
But, you
now.
know, Jake Paul is going to be the like Nate.
Yeah, he hit
Diaz
Nate.
is
He
gonna
hit
have
Nate.
to pull a
Look, he hit
counter
Nate with a headbutt. Now, I don't know why Nate is bringing his hands down. Just stay on him. I don't know why he's not hitting
Because
him.
I think Nate doesn't care. Like, I think that this is a typical Nate Diaz fight. He's like, whatever, it's fine. I don't really give a shit. I'll outlast
I
him
mean,
and I'll
Jake.
punch him away."
Jake. Oh, look, the decent body shot from Jake. I mean, Nate needs to put more pressure. Yeah, exactly. Hit him. There you go. Hit him.
That was like a totally uncontested, like,
Yeah, Jake
combination
and Nate is just
from
like playing
Diaz.
around. He's just playing. Come on, dude. This
I
guy,
told you,
all these
he's
guys
not
are right
gonna
handed.
start putting the gas on yet because he doesn't have
He's
to.
still got a lot of rounds to go. I mean, Jake's got a lot of. Jake is running scared. He's not even
Jake
boxing.
didn't think he was gonna get out of round one. Jake,
Jake
thought he was gonna knock him out. And be
Yeah, he
done.
did. He thought it. He thought it was, and he couldn't hurt
You
him.
don't have a round one.
He doesn't
like that
have
if
it
you
in
think
him. He
there's
just
a
doesn't
round
have
two.
it. The kid is so much bigger than Nate, and he's just struggling. He's struggling with this old Nate who's gone up basically 2 weight classes from the
And
UFC.
I love that Nate Diaz has zero urgency.
He does it because he knows he got him in the pocket
But
already.
this
The guy's
is why
gassed.
I really enjoy Nate Diaz as a fighter because it doesn't matter who he's fighting. He's just like, whatever.
It's
I'm
still,
not worried about
this
it.
is what I predicted. It's a game of stamina as well. This kid doesn't understand stamina, and Nate does. Nate knows he's a pressure fighter. He knows how to break you down.
I bet you Nate is telling his corner what meal he wants to have after the fight.
I'm gonna give that
He's
round
like
to.
putting in his Chipotle order now.
I'm gonna give that round to Jake Paul because he just landed more punches. He landed more punches, but Nate, the story of the fight is changing right now. Like Jake had a decent little flurry in the beginning, but it seems to be turning around more in Nate's favor. This is our card so far. I don't know if Bob has it that round for Jake, but I had it for Jake. I gave it to him. It could have gone either way, I think, but I gave it to
I
Jake.
don't think I would have given that to Jake.
Yeah.
I think that Jake had a couple nice shots, but Diaz was more consistently dominating the exchanges.
Fight.
Diaz does need to actually do things.
He has to throw
because-
more punches. He's letting Jake work too much, but he's still got a lot of rounds to go.
But
so
he
if
tends
so
to
if
do
he
this.
feels like Jake can't hurt him, look, that was a low blow from Jake. If he feels like Jake can't hurt him, he's gonna just press and let the kid work. Because this is the Diaz style, really. They let the other guy work and then they finish you off. He's pushing. He's putting a lot of pressure on Jake.
But I think that what he also needs to be careful of is that DAZN, which I think is really not how you say that name,
Yeah.
they have a lot of money in Paul.
Well, yeah, they do. They do.
So if
He's got to
he-
beat him. He's
gonna
wrestling.
need
That's
to,
all he's doing. He's
actually
wrestling.
very decisively beat
I wish
him.
he would throw more body work. Like, where's the body work from Nate? Nate is pressing on this kid. This kid is wrestling for his fucking life.
He
just-
almost jumped on Nate Diaz like a backpack.
He's just got to leave his hands. He's always lowering his hands. I hate that he does
He was
that.
spooning Nate.
Yeah, he's scared. He's trying to shoot to the back so that he can get away from the ropes. So he's doing this kind of sweep around crap. But he is getting pressed on. If Nate just threw some body work, he could get this guy out of there. He just needs to go to the body.
I think Nate.
I don't know why he's headhunting. Why is he headhunting?
Because he has no urgency, and this is where Nate Diaz goes wrong. He has no urgency.
Jake is breathing. Jake just took a deep breath, a real deep breath. Nate might get this guy out of there. This kid is gassed. He is so gassed. This is the 40-year-old man who's come up 2 weight divisions, and he is beating up a 26-year-old Juice head.
I mean,
Nate is starting to lay it on Jake over here. He is wilting. Nate is just hitting him with baby punches, and Jake is wilting.
Because Jake didn't think he'd be
Jake didn't think
before.
Nate hasn't even landed a straight. Look, Jake keeps shooting him with his head. He's headbutting the hell out of Nate.
Fortunately, Nate Diaz
A nice uppercut, right uppercut from Jake, and Nate fires back with his own uppercut. The southpaw. I guess Jake didn't know that. Southpaws are dangerous. Nate is touching Jake up. He just landed a straight left hand, and Jake shoots him with a headbutt. Jake is wrestling for his life right now.
We know why Jake has that.
Jake
beard.
is wrestling for his life. The referee just pushed Nate way out of position. He's helping Jake right now. Jake is getting help from the ref. Look at this. He's helping Jake so much. Like, Jake is gassing. Oh, Jake shoots him with a big left hook, and it was nothing. It didn't even land. Jake is now running away like a little girl. Oh, he's getting punched in the face. Left hook. Everything is hitting Jake. Not too hard, but a lot of shots are landing on Jake. Left hook lands. Jake takes a deep breath.
That ref better watch his ass because he's about to catch
Nate is just touching him up. Jake throws a big right hand and completely misses. Jake, complete domination. This was almost. Oh, everybody in the arena looks silent. People are like in awe. You see the faces on these people?
Yep. I'm watching a whole bunch of people understand why a YouTuber is not a fucker.
These people in the crowd right now, they look like they are so sad. They're like, oh my God. Like,
I think the only people who are sad are people who are Jake Paul fans.
they put money on this kid, I bet. They put money on
If you're a
him.
Jake Paul fan, I don't feel bad for you at all. You're just dumb.
They put money on this guy. That was not a good move. All right. We got it. What is it?
He's wearing a
All right, we
condom
got
on
it
his
2-2 right now. The fight is tied. We have it. The fight is tied, and Joe Pesci is happy. Hey, and if you like this stuff we're doing over here, you can always subscribe to FU Sports. It's a pretty good site. It's pretty good. These guys are all right. All right, so we got it 2-2 right now. The fight is tied. The fight is tied, bro. And Joe Pesci.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
It's not that bad, Joe. It's not that bad. Okay, we're going into what is this, round number 5?
Yep, we're halfway there.
We're round number 5. We're halfway there. We got 2-2.
So if Diaz is actually going to clinch this victory, he's going to need to be very decisive
Yes,
about it.
I don't know what Jake Paul threw. I think a straight right hand to the body of Diaz, and Diaz kind of bent over and taunted him. I think it might have hurt a little bit. Jake's a much bigger guy. Like, Nate needs to understand that. Nate is pressing forward hard. Jake throws a big right hand, completely misses. That's kind of Jake's thing. That's all he got. Jake tries to time Nate with an uppercut. No power on it. It did land. Nate jumps in with a straight left. Nate is catching and skip that straight left. But Nate is breathing heavy right now. I don't know if he's taunting or what's going on.
I think he's taunting.
I think he might be messing with him. He's like letting him get some confidence, and he's taking it away. It's a veteran, man. It's a veteran right there. Nate is they know how to play mind games. He's now baiting Jake in, it looks like, trying to let him work a little more. And now he's pressing forward. He just keeps changing the speed on the kid, He's playing all these mind games. He's got him. Jake's thinking all kinds of stuff. He doesn't know what to think, really. He's like, oh, I got him. He's gassing. And then Nate just steps on the gas again. He just takes all his confidence away. He gives it. Oh, Nate goes down. Diaz hit with, I don't know what. I think like a left hook, maybe? He got caught off guard. The problem is that the way Nate comes in straight lines. He doesn't take his head off the line.
He also doesn't.
All right, Nate's hurt. Nate's hurt. Got dropped. He wants to aid. So what's 5th round, right? Okay, yeah. He needs to step on the gas, and then Nate needs to throw more body work. He's got to take everything away. Uppercut from Jake. Nate was hurt. He was dropped. Okay, a lot of punches from Jake. Nate needs to just move his head. Move your head.
Yeah, Nate doesn't.
I don't understand why Nate's not going to the body. He's being a headhunter.
He's still taunting. You gotta love Nate Diaz.
That's what he does. He's been hit with a lot of headbutts. Look, Jake just threw an elbow. He's been hit with a lot of
I think that
headbutts.
Jake is getting nervous and forgetting he's boxing and not doing MMA.
Yeah. The problem is Nate's not really like throwing punches with proper form. He's throwing a lot of
That was
arm punches from Nate.
belly button shot.
We have to
at
see
best.
some actual punches, some with some leverage on him. And we know Nate has the ability to hurt guys with that straight left hand. So, but I don't understand this. Why isn't he throwing body punches? Go to Jake's body.
I don't get it either. I think that maybe he's a little bit too much in his head.
It's
which
so
happens
weird, isn't it?
sometimes. Because like the body work he's done has been effective.
It's been good. And look, the guy's wrestling him again. He's afraid. Look, Nate's already recovered from the knockdown. He's already recovered. And again,
Nate got knocked down, but Jake hasn't recovered.
he's fighting the larger man, and the larger man, the kid's trash. Come on, let's go. I mean, he's fighting Nate. If Nate could wrestle this guy and do everything he usually does, he would have beat him already. Because the kid can't really hurt him. He caught him jumping in. That's the problem. But that was a Jake round, obviously.
That's a Jake round, but I mean, if you eliminate the knockdown, it was not a Jake round. So I think that this is also something that you get with Nate Diaz. He doesn't protect his head. He jumps in. He likes to taunt. He likes to shit talk. He does, and it's all part of his strategy. But like, if you keep dicking around like that, you will eventually get caught with something.
All right, so we got that's our scorecard.
Paul round.
It was a decent shot. It was on the top of the head, which is pretty crazy that he hit Nate on the top of the head like that. It really knocked off his equilibrium.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it didn't really hurt him. It wasn't a chin. It was a flash knockdown. And Nate landed his own straight left. Nate landed his own straight left hand. Well, the problem is that Nate didn't cover up. He threw the straight left, but he didn't cover his right side. He's not using proper boxing fundamentals. That's the issue with what Nate is doing there. He needed to do more boxing. That's it. This is round number 6.
Fight.
Okay. It's beginning of round. Nate just comes in, clinched Jake right away.
And he's taunting again.
He's taunting again. He's not leaving his hands high. He's not going to the body. I don't like that. He never goes to the body. That's one of his big issues.
I think he's maybe not going to the body because Paul's guard is low. Like Paul has his elbows are almost into his hip bones most of the time, so he's defending his body quite a lot. So
big rapid punch from Paul.
Perhaps Diaz thinks that his best shot's the head, and then maybe he'll lift his hands up and he can go for the body.
But I think he should mix it up more. He needs to mix it up more. He needs to put leverage. There we go. Straight left hand from Nate. Paul is back, running away right now. Really running. Wrestling.
An attempted body.
A lot of punch and grab from Jake Paul. That Floyd trash. Okay, we got Ariel Helwani talking. I really wish I didn't have to hear him. Jake Paul or Nate just taunting. 2 left hooks from Jake Paul. One of them landed.
What Nate needs to be very careful with is taunting and baiting.
Oh yeah, he does.
That.
He doesn't. He's just not. He's got the stamina and the the spirit of a fighter, but he's not breaking him down correctly. He's hitting him all over the place, and Jake is holding for his life. No joke. He got a knockdown, but look, his head's getting popped up. That's a nice hook from Nate on the inside.
Like Nate got knocked down, but Paul didn't recover.
Yeah, he didn't. He's still fighting. He got a little. His spirit got raised a little bit for that. But Jake Paul is still getting broken down. His stamina's going, even though he's probably juiced to the max. He's still getting pressed by this much older man who's this guy who's battled. He's been beaten up for years. Nate, Nate's had a lot of battles. Jake Paul is pretty fresh. Even with that, I mean, Nate is still pressing forward. He's still in the fight. He really needs a knockout, I think, to win this fight at this point, because they definitely won't give it to him. No. He's going to have to at least drop Paul at least once. And he is capable of doing that, but he needs to go to the body. He needs to go to the body.
Like, one thing I will say about Paul is he is protecting his body, because I'm guessing that's his weakest point.
Nice right hand from Nate. Straight left hand and a good nice right lead. It actually was a nice solid punch. It wasn't an arm punch. Like, Nate needs to throw more solid punches. Nate needs
to throw more punches.
He needs to turn it over and really hit Jake with hit him properly. Turn that punch over properly, pivot into it.
Why is the ref warning Diaz about his head when I feel like
Yeah.
Jake Paul has a third, fist in his forehead.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Paul is hitting Nate with so many different headbutts. And one of the issues, Nate's not covering up properly, and he's jumping into punches. That's not good. And the kid's been practicing longer for pure boxing than Nate has, which is nuts to think. Okay, I thought that was a Nate round. This is what our card looks like right now.
Jake Paul looks like he's about to drop dead. I don't think we would be so lucky.
Well, if you hit him in the body, it'd be a whole different story. Nate needs to just beat up that body. If Nate was to punch him in that body, Jake Paul would be in a way worse situation right now. Okay, we're going into what, round number 7?
Yep. What's frustrating is that even though it is obvious that he is being outclassed, because Nate Diaz is defeating himself.
Okay, we're going to round number 7. Jake Paul shoots to the center of the ring. Nate Paul pressuring in slowly. Round number 7, get the one knockdown. Still, even with the knockdown, we have a close fight here. If Nate was to win this round here, we would basically even it out again, I think, or he'd be down, what a point?
Yeah.
I think it's 2 points. I mean, he'd be evening it out.
I mean, if he could knock Paul down.
Paul's
that'd
trying
be
to
great.
box right now. Terrible jab, terrible footwork. Jake Paul being pressed backwards, and Paul's trying to hit Nate coming in. But he's too much. Footwork's not good. It's not good. He can't shoot a punch on a dime. That's the problem. It takes him a way long time to punch. So if the Nate was to hit him with the straight left while Paul is moving away, which is very possible because Paul's not in position to punch when he's moving away.
Well, now Nate is just chasing him around the ring at this
Yeah,
point.
it's not good what he's doing. He needs to go to
Like,
that
Nate needs to cut off the ring.
and go to the body.
And, yeah, because right
A
now,
straight right hand lands on Nate.
even though Nate is pressuring, Paul is eating up the round running.
Paul ate a left hook right there. Paul goes to the body, looks like. Nate pressing forward, going to war with Jake. Jake Paul lands a nice headbutt. Jake Paul running away. He's clinching again. Nate's chasing him down, lands a little jab. Paul running away. Nate just pressing forward.
This is giving me very much
With a high
shades
guard.
of Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, it is. I told you, these kids
Dancing with the stars.
they like to
over here.
hold. They like to do punch and hold, punch and run. That's really what he's trying to do right now. It's not impressive. He eats a straight left hand. Nate slips a little jab from Paul. Paul's running away. Nate's on top of him right now. There you go. Nate's pressing on him. Paul's just running away, landing arm punches from Paul. Nothing impressive.
No.
Paul throws a right hook completely blocked. Nate not really putting anything on these punches. He needs to start throwing more. The kid's running away. He's got nothing to start. Right hand from Nate. A left hook. Some of the best punches being landed of the whole round right now by Nate Diaz, and Jake Paul shoots in for a hold. Jake Paul being pressured. Nate just basically beating him up by walking forward. Jake lands a decent left hook, and then Nate lands an even better one.
Yep. Nate's like teeing off combinations, but
He
Nate's
really
not
is.
putting,
He's popping the kids
he's not
out.
putting power on them.
He's
the
not.
problem.
No, he's not. A lot of them are arm punches, but some of them got power. Like some of those short uppercuts on the inside, they're popping Jake's head up. Jake's now pushing Nate against the ropes, and Nate's hitting him with many, many, many small punches. This looks to me to be a Nate Diaz round.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much evening this fight out. He's won the last 2 rounds.
But the problem is, we know these folks are not going to score it that way. We
There's
know
a Nate
these
Diaz
folks
round.
are going to
He's
say,
pressing,
"Oh,
Jake."
but Jake Paul is breathing, so therefore it's a
Yes.
Jake Paul round."
They got the bell.
Because
The
they are,
round's coming to an end. And Nate Diaz has outlanded Jake Paul in that round. And he just owned that ring.
I don't know, man. I'm a Nate Diaz fan. It's true, but
We're scoring this as we should be, the correct way. There's no fanboy stuff in the scoring. There's no fanboys. And we are rooting for Nate. We like Nate.
And I can say that, like, Jake Paul obviously has been, doing something. He's been working. But, it's not the same caliber fighter.
Yeah, I mean the kid's a little sharper than Nate when it comes to the boxing at times, but Nate he's just all around better, just because he knows how to pace himself. He's got the fighter spirit. They're showing a replay right now of Jake landing a shot, and they're showing Nate's, and Nate's are better punches. They are better
And
punches.
there's more of them.
There's way more of them. Nate just hit him a lot more.
Like,
We're gonna show
Jake
this again.
Paul landed
So
a
I think
nice
my
uppercut,
scorecard's
and
a little
then
bit messed up.
Nate Diaz landed like three nice uppercuts and a hook. So
All right, we're heading right now. We're in round number what?
8.
We're in round number 8.
Fight.
Okay, we got Jake shooting in with a clinch, hitting Nate with like the 1000th headbutt. Jake throws a real.
That was like 3 shots directly to the trunks.
Yeah, he got big trunks too. I don't know why they gave him a giant belt line. I guess so then he could punch him low and they could say it was on the belt line.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nate coming in strong, shooting in. Jake Paul still running away. He's running away like a little fairy. He shoots in a right hook to the body. Jake Nate,
Paul is giving me shades of a vaguely beigeier Floyd Mayweather. Right
yeah,
now.
he is kind of like a
Galloping
try.
around the ring, swirling and twirling, and not
Yeah,
doing anything.
just a lot of wrestling coming from Jake. Like, he's throwing a lot of punches. He's missing a lot of punches. They're saying Paul has landed 122 punches versus Nate's 88. I don't believe that number at all. I think Nate has outlanded him. If you're really going to count punches landed, Nate's outlanded him because he's thrown more and he's landed more. There, a right hook from Nate. Nate is pressing left straight and a right hand from Nate. Nate pressing Paul. Paul's getting pressured and he's getting hit more. Cuffing right hand from Paul. Paul throws, I didn't even know it even looked like a real shot.
Like it was a penis shot.
Diaz is smothering his own work a little too much, and there's another headbutt from Jake Paul. He seems to be shooting a lot of headbutts. Nate Diaz needs to throw some bombs, put this kid down, and go to that body. Where's the body work?
I think that's the only place Jake Paul is actually effectively protecting.
He's been hit with a lot of punches. But Nate is walking straight he's walking straight forward. He's not moving his head off the line
Because I
much.
think he doesn't think that Jake Paul can hurt him. So he's like, whatever, punch me as much as you want.
He's probably straight left hand from Nate. He's trying to knock this kid out right now.
Because his corner probably
Nate
told him
is trying to
you
knock
have to.
out Jake Paul. He is pressing forward hard. He needs to
That was like a little bitch slap.
Nate needs to really go to the body. A lot of shots. Nate is obviously outlanding this kid. He just landed like 4 unanswered punches in a row. He popped Jake Paul's head up like 3 times.
I think what they're doing is they're not counting the close work.
Oh, he's hitting him with clean shots. Those are real scoring
I know,
shots.
but I think that they're
Another,
not,
he popped his head up again.
I think that when
Another time he's beating the fuck out of this guy. This is ridiculous that they're making it where Jake Paul's winning. Jake Paul hits a glancing punch with Jake Paul, and Nate just eats it and keeps walking forward. This is insane, the amount of punches that Nate has landed in this round. Yeah, Jake has landed a couple himself. Jake just got rocked with a straight left hand. He is hurt.
Nate, capitalize
He got hurt
on
there.
it. Capitalize on it.
Look at him pushing. Nate just hit Jake Paul. Because I told you, Jake's been hitting Nate with headbutt after headbutt after headbutt. And Nate at the very end of the round just pushed his head right into Jake's face.
His chin helmet.
Yeah, he just hit him because the kid's been beating the
Jake
shit
Paul
out of
looks
Nate.
like he's about to have a heart attack.
He is. He's getting
Like I'm
beat up.
actually like slightly like somebody needs to go out there and check his blood pressure and his heart rate.
It looks like
Because
Nate.
I mean, we're about to see this kid drop dead of like
He
a
is. He's getting
massive
gassed.
heart attack.
He got hit with a lot of punches in that round.
He's a different color than he started.
He is. He might
He
pass
looks
out
like
in the
he's
ring.
gonna die.
We got that. We got Nate getting a clean sweep there. That's 3 rounds in a row. 3 rounds in a row.
Somebody needs to. Jake Paul does not look.
We got
okay.
Nate winning. What is this? We got him winning 5 rounds. So that means he's winning the fight right now. Nate is actually winning the fight right now in the scorecards.
I mean, I think if you're scoring it accurately, he's
Yes,
winning
they're
the
not going to
fight.
score it accurately. We are.
Nate needs
And
to
we're
have
at-
a
what are we in, round number-
victory. He needs to
round number
put
9?
Paul down, if not knock him out. Otherwise, they will give this to Paul,
Fight.
even though he has not won.
Yes,
Because
they're going to rob
apparently
him. They're
that's
going to
how
rob him.
things
He
work
needs
now.
to put this kid to sleep. Nate is now taunting Jake.
Nate.
He has to do some taunting, you know?
Oh Lord! I mean, this is such a textbute Diaz fight, though. Honestly,
He's
doing all of his
just
usual bullshit.
he's clowning this kid. He's pressuring him. He got Jake is scared. He got rocked in that previous round. He got
Yeah, but
outpointed. He got
Nate
rocked.
needs to use this time to actually hit him with stuff.
He needs to move his head off the
He can't
line when he
just
comes
be a
in.
dick.
That's important to do that.
Like, that's funny, but he actually needs to like put him on the canvas. He needs to.
Yeah, he needs to stop playing around.
Because the fact that he's not scared of him is, I think Jake Paul.
I don't know
is
why he doesn't go to that body. I don't understand
in
it.
some sort of like weird survival mode now, and like I don't think he's even being affected by the taunting.
Low blow, super low blow from Jake Paul there.
I'm sure
Jake
we're
throwing
all
a jangly
surprised.
little poke jab, trying to land his right hand. Yeah, Gilbert Melendez is saying, I think that's his name, Melendez is saying he wishes there was more rounds. Nate actually wanted 12 rounds, from what I remember. He wanted an actual boxing fight where Jake wanted the 10. Now Nate is playing with him because Jake keeps running away. He needs to throw
Well,
more
they're
punches.
flipping it. Look, they're now saying that Diaz has landed more.
He did. He landed more the previous round. He beat the hell out of him. That's round 8 they're talking about there.
Yep.
Nate is really just kind of taunting and pressing forward.
Nate
but he's
is
not throwing
being
enough
Nate,
punches. Come on,
and
throw some
Nate is
left
doing-
straight for Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz just rocked Jake Paul with a straight left hand. He
Nate
needs to really
Diaz
rally
does
on him,
not
dude.
have the
Punches,
time
please.
to do all of his shenanigans.
He's doing too much taunting. He needs to do more punching, less taunting. Jake is running right now. Left hook. Best shots of the whole round that were just landed by Nate Diaz, who is now taunting Jake Paul, just schooling the younger, bigger man. The younger, bigger man is running like a chicken.
Nate's turning around. But here's the
He's
thing.
just schooling him.
This is where Nate Diaz defeats himself. Like,
He needs to throw more punches.
he needs to throw more punches. He needs to capitalize on the punches.
He knows
throws.
Jake's completely gassed out. He knows he
Yeah,
got him.
but
He got him exactly where he wants him. Beat on him.
But like,
There you
if
go.
he
He's got him. He's got him running. Uppercut from. He could drop him right now. He needs to just put it on
But
him.
that's the thing. He takes his foot off.
He
the
takes
gas
his foot
every
off the
time.
gas. That's his biggest problem.
And this is what he does all the time, which is
Nice,
I
big,
like
big,
Diaz,
big headbutt from
but
Jake
he
Paul.
always does this. He'll get the fighter in a really good spot, have him right where he wants him, and then
Yep.
not seal the deal because
Yep,
he's
he
too
is.
busy
He needs to
taunting.
throw more leather at him, but I thought he won the round anyway. That's another Nate round. I think Nate's winning this fight. He really is winning the fight. Jake has one knockdown, but Nate's taken back. He's got it clean. He's got 4 rounds in a row.
I bet you his corner is like, stop fucking taunting.
Just
Less
punch.
taunting, more punching.
He could have put him away if he really would have kept putting the pressure on. He keeps taking his foot off the gas, and he's letting the kid recover. He's letting him build up his stamina. He lands a big punch, and his 10 round. We're going into the last round. This is only 10 rounds. Here's our card. Hey, Bob, do you agree with this? I know my card's a little screwed up here. It's a little off where it should be.
Yeah, I probably would have given round 2 to Nate, but I can see why you gave it to Paul.
Yeah, they're saying on the card that he was hurt. Nate wasn't hurt in that round. I'm trying to fix my card. I don't know what the heck's going on with it. It's doing some weird stuff. We're going into round number 10.
If they're saying Nate was hurt, they haven't watched enough Nate Diaz.
Okay, so we're going into round number 10 right now. They're saying, does Diaz have a power for a knockdown? So I'm guessing they're trying to build this like he needs a knockdown. They're trying to build this as if he needs a knockout to win. He's outpointing Jake. He's winning the fight. Now he's taunting too much. I don't know why he's doing that. He just got hit with a straight right hand to
I
the
think
body.
he thinks he's already won the fight. Which, I mean, if you actually go on points,
On points,
he has.
he's won. He needs to take this
However,
round. He needs to take.
exactly.
He needs to
he's
knock the kid
defeating
down.
himself. If Nate Diaz loses this fight, it is because he defeated himself.
Right hand. Nate just landed a nice right hand. He's walking in with his hands down.
This is
he has
Nate
no.
Diaz entering his Michael Myers
Jake threw
era.
an uppercut in the right hand. Nate is just taunting too much. Throw punches, not taunts. His corner needs to tell him to start punching.
Yeah, I think his corner probably knows by now that he's gonna just do whatever he wants, and like they could say what they want him to do, but he's not gonna do it. And this is why Nate Diaz defeats himself. Because he gets it in his head and he wants to be a showboaty son of a bitch.
He's not throwing enough punches. He's doing all taunts. He's playing around. I don't know what he's doing right now. Nate Diaz is just playing around with him. He's letting the kid punch a bunch. I don't know why he's doing this.
I think he thinks that he's already won, and
Yeah, I mean, he is winning on the scorecards to me.
But I think he thinks he can cruise. And he hasn't. He can't.
Look how the ref breaks him up like that. Why would you do that? That was so corny
Now
what he just
Jake
did.
Paul is trying to taunt.
Yeah. He's getting beat up. He's been getting pieced up the whole fight. I mean, he's a harder puncher because he's just a bigger guy. Jake's
Yeah,
just
but I
bigger.
don't even really know that he's a harder puncher, to be honest with you.
Nate, I don't know what Nate's doing. Nate is just taunting too much. I would like a lot more punching and a lot less taunting. He is beating the kid's ass right now. He is just piecing his ass
There
up.
we go.
He just started beating on Jake very easily, and then Jake jumped in for a hold. Look at, he's holding him as long as he can, and the referee is not breaking them up now, but he broke him up before, right? When Nate had the dominant position, the ref broke him up. When Jake is holding him on the ropes, the ref's having big, hard problems to breaking them up. It's ridiculous. Yeah, he says he scored the round for Jake Paul the last round. The round's not even done yet.
I think that this is like when who was it? Oscar De La Hoya just like cruised for his round 12.
I don't know what Nate's doing. He's not cruising. He's not punching. He's barely punching. He's not really punching much.
Because I think in some weird like way he doesn't think he needs to. Oh, and now we're in a headbutt or a headlock rather. And he's celebrating.
I'm gonna guess maybe he's not supposed to beat this kid or something. He's just playing with him. He knows he could have finished him, and he let him off the hook for the entire 10th round. He just let him off the hook. He's taunting him. He got him in a headlock. He's just dancing around them, just playing around. Maybe they're like, oh, you're not supposed to knock him out, okay? He like took his foot off the gas completely in the 10th round, Nate. But I still think he won the fight.
This was very weird.
We got 1, 2. You got Jake Paul winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 points. We got Nate winning the fight by 1 point.
Yeah, but they're not going to give it to him.
I'm giving that round. I can give that round because he took his foot off the gas. Nate, we can give that round to Jake, and he still lost the fight, even with the knockdown. I'd say he lost the fight. So we got right here. Here we go. I'm going to show you the card in a second. I mean, you can. They might give it a draw. Who knows? You never know.
I mean, they might be trying to make this.
I heard
like
something about a rematch in there.
like
I
a
think Nate
trilogy.
really was doing too much taunting and not enough punching.
I mean, I think that what's really sad is if they give this victory to Paul, which I'm pretty sure they will.
They will.
It's a paper victory. It's there's nothing behind it. We all just watched Nate Diaz choose not to win this fight.
Oh, well, I mean, I thought he won the fight.
Right, but what I'm saying is he chose.
Yes, he wasn't. He
Not
was.
to win. The
He was
fight.
playing with the kid. He was playing with them. It's like as if he was told not to beat on him anymore. I mean, he didn't even try to hurt him in that 10th round. He had Jake basically finished a couple of times in this fight. He could have, if he put his foot on the gas, he could have got Jake out of there. That was really weird. All right, so we got the decisions coming up right now. We're gonna see if we bring our audio up. And we're gonna bring the audio up for the card, and we'll see what you guys get to hear the decision. They're talking about the Tommy Fury fight. You know. Let's see. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get the audio from the stream up here. I'm gonna lower that maybe a little bit. They're just showing a lot of Jake Paul stuff.
Counter shots, allowing Nate to come first, and then countering him on the way in.
So they're gonna build this. You see Jake on rock. Jake landed so many headbutts on Nate, it was insane. The problem with how Nate got knocked down is he wasn't blocking correctly.
I also think he just got knocked off balance. I don't think he got like.
No, I mean he got
wobbled.
equilibrium
I think he just
shot.
got knocked off balance.
He wasn't blocking correctly. He was doing a lot of things incorrectly. But I mean, it's not his name.
He did get a knockdown.
Who's that? A fucking transformer?
His main discipline is not boxing. It's MMA. I'm still trying to get my audio. I'm trying to get the audio to work from the stream so you guys can hear the decision. Here it comes. Unanimous decision. Nate's getting robbed. They ain't giving it to him. They're giving it to their golden child over here. I got Nate winning it by 1 round.
All three in favor of the winner. The problem child.
So there you go. Nate got robbed, of course. I'm sorry. They gave it to Jake Paul, of course. He lost the fight. He lost. He got Nate just playing with him.
I like that they showed the crowd and there was that dude standing there like, whatever, this is dumb.
Yeah, they're saying he beat him. He didn't beat him. I thought he didn't beat him. They're saying he's bouncing back. He's not bouncing back. He lost this one. Of course, he's trying to get a commentary job. This guy, this MMA guy, is saying he was very, very impressed. Yeah, he's countering. He's just kissing Jake's ass. I'm just trying to fix the scorecard here.
It's a pile of piss.
Yeah, it was bullshit. I knew if he didn't knock him out, he was gonna lose.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I just gotta fix my scorecard here.
I think the crowd got their money's worth. Oh, 100%. Every single person in here is satisfied with the ticket that they bought tonight and the entertainment that they got for it. But the fun's not over yet. Let's hear the post-fight trash talk. Here's Ariel Hawani.
Thank you very much, guys. Jake, congratulations on a massive win for you. Was he tougher than you thought he would be?
No, I mean, he's
A
tough.
wildly disappointing
He's tough.
piece of
That's what he's
piss.
known for. But tough
Everybody is booing this guy right now.
if you're a virgin.
They boo if you're a virgin. That sounds like a joke a virgin would make.
Are you happy with your performance? Did you think you did enough to secure the win?
I don't think he won. Sorry, guys. My scorecard's so broken up.
Won basically every round. And
No, he could say whatever he wants. He lost.
warrior, you know? I had him hurt in the first round. He kept on
Yeah, right. He was hurt multiple times.
No one's taken that much damage, but all credit to my team.
One,
My
two.
condition, going 10 rounds in my 8th fight. It's unheard of. Only been boxing for
All right, we
3
had
years.
Jake.
Beat a UFC legend. I was watching this kid growing up. But I
He's
won't
watching this kid. He calls him a kid.
So there's the offer on the table, $10 million in MMA next fight. Is that what you want to do next?
Yeah, I want $10 million.
$10 million.
That's the offer.
PFL.
MMA.
Why not UFC?
I won one. Now it's your chance in your home territory. MMA, let's do it.
They're trying to bait Nate into an MMA contract.
And he's probably gonna take it.
They're trying to bait him into another MMA contract.
I saw that guillotine there. First pro boxing bout for you, Nate. How did it go? What do you think of your performance?
Yeah, he's tough and he's big, and I wish I could have done better and did better things, but some shit didn't happen right the way I wanted to, but it's all good, and I think I made him in boxing still, but he won this one. It's good. And then, hey, real fight, nigga, I'll fight anybody. I don't give a fuck.
Do you want your next fight to be in MMA or boxing?
Either one. The thing what I like about this was I had a, hey, be nice. You know, they were trying to fight each other.
Cameramen are fighting here too.
Cameramen are crazy.
MMA or boxing?
I'll do either.
All right, if you guys hear it, Jake Paul's saying he wants to fight Nate in MMA. I'm going to guess he's not going to try to actually do any ground stuff. He's going to try to throw punches.
And then in fighting, he made a big name for himself and did his thing, and I think he's doing a great job. And that's what I like. He's somebody who's out there and everybody believes he'll whip my ass, and that's what I beg to differ. So I'm going to come and get that back.
Certainly proved a lot of people wrong. He's showing you a lot of love and respect.
Yeah, I thought Nate won the fight. He got up. He beat him by 1 round. I mean, he had a case for the 10th round as well. Nate had a case there. But I didn't like the taunting.
No, I think it was just too much, but this is what he always does.
Yeah, I
He
say
does this a lot.
I call that a robbery. I'm gonna hit the robbery alert. I think this could be considered robbery. Close, but for the trained eye, here's a robbery alert. Hey Bob, do you agree with the robbery alert?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're one of these people who's super excited to watch Marvel comic book movie number like 947, and you still think it's super exciting, then you probably think Jake Paul won that fight. But if you have eyes and a brain behind them, and those two things work together, you would know that he didn't.
Yeah, it's a robbery alert. Now we got Logan
that?
Paul in the ring. Looks like he has a black eye and some like I don't know what. He's wearing like some weird outfit. He looks like he's gonna go rollerblading or
That's
something.
another one of them?
Yeah, that's Logan Paul.
How many of them are there of the Pauls?
They're both balding, so they got to comb their hair over their forehead. Why do these guys look so damn old? Like, look at Logan Paul's face. Looks like an old man. Like he looks like he's in his like 50s, but it's like all muscular. These dudes are such juice heads. It's insane. They should call them the Juice Brothers. Logan Paul, look how sunk in Logan Paul's face looks. It's insane. He got beat up.
Looks like a rat.
He did some pro wrestling. There's his mom. And there's Nate. There's Logan. Nate choked Logan all out supposedly recently. They had a video of it online where they're like shaking hands and smiling now. Yeah, I think Nate took his foot off the gas intentionally in that tent. He seemed to have taken it easy on the boy, right? Didn't it look that way?
Yeah.
Didn't it look like he took it easy on the guy? Now he's giving his mom the fist bump. They probably told him, "Hey, please don't knock this kid out." And so he agreed to the MMA fight for $10 million. We might actually see these guys fight again in MMA. But, I mean, this is an old Nate Diaz, man. I mean, if Nate Diaz had on boxing gloves, not boxing gloves, MMA gloves, Jake would have probably been sleeping. He would have, because Nate had some big ass gloves on. He's fighting at cruiserweight. He's probably wearing I think they wear like 10-ounce gloves, you know. Nate's used to wearing, I think, like 4 or 6 ounce gloves. These are much bigger gloves. And this is versus a much bigger man. This is a big guy. Nate basically just fought a light heavyweight. It's like Nate going up in the UFC and fighting Israel a la lasagna. He's fighting a lasagna. So what'd you think of this fight, Bob?
I mean, it was really fun to see Nate Diaz fight again. It was annoying to watch Nate Diaz do all of the things.
You think it's retirement time for Nate?
No, I think that Nate Diaz could probably continue fighting for several more years. But the problem with Nate Diaz is he likes to dick around too much, and he takes his foot off the gas, and he's not wonderful at capitalizing on the good work he does. And I am unclear if that was a strategy problem or if that was just some sort of an agreement to set up that $10 million MMA fight. I don't know.
Maybe it could be that. It could be that he has agreed to that fight.
Because if Nate Diaz whooped him decisively and won at the boxing match,
maybe they made an agreement.
There would be no reason to see an MMA match.
Exactly. They're double dipping. He might have made an agreement with him because it looked like
maybe Jake Paul gets to win the boxing match and Nate Diaz gets to win the MMA match.
And Nate is good on the body punches. They're showing the punch stats. I don't agree with them at all. They're saying Nate only threw 392. They're saying he threw less than Jake. I don't agree with that at all. I think Nate was throwing more and he was landing more. I think Nate actually landed the harder punches as well. Now, Jake had some real good hard punches. Every once in a while he would throw a good one because he was throwing with proper leverage and he was turning the punches over properly. A lot of Nate's punches were not full force. There were a lot of arm punches. But for the most part, he was popping Jake's head up. Just popping his head up one time. You would see 4, 5, 6 times his head's popping up in a row. Really just pressing him when he wanted to. And towards the end, he was mixing it up, landing like 4, 5, 6 punch combinations on him. The kid's backing up in straight lines. Nate comes in with that straight left hand. He was rocking him. He actually hurt him multiple times. Our card is no bullshit here. We scored that fairly. And I gave Jake as many rounds as I could. And in the end, this is what it came to. We just showed it to you a minute ago. Sorry that the card's a little bit messy right now. I'll fix that for the next stream. As always, we're getting better and better over here, okay? There it is right there, man. You see it.
I think that this was just a way to set up the next one. Which is annoying. As a fight fan, it's annoying to see this kind of nonsense go down. Because Nate Diaz obviously could have ended that fight like rounds and rounds earlier. And he
might have been able
chose
to,
not to. Like, you saw him get Jake Paul in a vulnerable position and take his foot off the gas. And you watched him do it over and over and over again. Now, once or twice, I could see being like a strategy error, a timing error. Like, he wasn't like watching it right. But he did it over and over and over again. And then instead of capitalizing on his work, he's taunting and he's dicking around and he's doing all of the stuff that he's been told for years and years and years that he needs to do less of. Right? And he's in there doing all this knowing like, ha ha ha, it's bumping the whole team. Oh, a $10 million MMA fight. this really does feel like, okay, Jake, you get to win the boxing fight, but I'm going to win the MMA
exactly.
fight, and then I'm
set
going to
up.
retire.
He knows that he's gonna lose that MMA fight. They have a real MMA fight. Jake Paul's gonna lose it. I thought Jake lost this fight. There's no joke. There's no fanboy stuff here. We scored this fairly. And look at those cards. You got Jake Paul losing the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th round. And that 9th round was in I think it was the 9th, was in like dominant fashion. I mean, you could have almost called that an 8-10 round.
Even the announcers and the commentary team in there, Nate landed literally twice as many punches as Jake did.
He had him
in
hurt
that round.
He also had him hurt real bad. He wasn't going to the body, which I'm surprised by that. I think he really should have just done the keys to victory for the knockout, the early stoppage, would have been body work. Because the kid was gassed. The kid was gassed in the 2nd round. But Nate kept taking his foot off the gas. And you got the young man gassed. He pressed in the action. He didn't do it, but I still thought he won the fight. I gave Jake every single round I could. I mean, there's cases to take some of these rounds away from him. Am I wrong? To me, it looks like Nate's up by 1 round. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had a case for a draw at the worst.
I could see giving 10 to Paul because Nate was basically doing more taunting than anything else.
Taunting.
But even still, I think that Nate had the points to do it. But the problem
it was weird how he just took his foot off the gas completely. He didn't even care to try.
Nope.
It's as if, like you said, they had an agreement, and he was like, "Oh, damn, I can't knock this kid out." It's like through the fight, he was kind of playing with them. He was like, "Oh, I'll beat you up a little bit." Like when he rocked him that one time, then he pressed his forehead against his. He's like showing him, like, he's showing him like, you're not better than me, man. I'm just playing with you. It was like a sparring session. Pretty much. Like Nate was like taking it, letting the kid beat him up a little bit, and then he took it to him a little bit, and then he took his foot off the gas. He kept letting the kid have breathers. He didn't want to drown him. He just let him keep staying out there, and he let him survive, it looked like.
Yep.
All right, so we got Jake Paul. He's walking back to his...
He's going to go play some rock, paper, scissors again.
Yeah, he was out there playing rock, paper, scissors. I don't know what that was about. Pretty weird. You see this?
Why is there a transformer back there?
Yeah, he usually comes out with this weird, like he has like a mascot that I think is like a transformer. So yeah, guys, anybody who watches this after we're done with the stream, you can go into the stream and kind of tell us what you think.
Oh, there's Big Brother.
Huh? What'd you say?
Diaz, isn't it?
No, that's not Nick Diaz. I don't know who that guy is.
You sure?
I don't think that's Nick Diaz. I mean, maybe it is. Let's go. I'm going to take a closer look. Yeah, I guess it is. Nick looks like he's put on some weight. He's looking a little weird. Let's listen to what he says. We got Nick Diaz in the house. We got Big Nick. The same guy on the mural there, the legend. Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz was a super beast. Like, if people think that Nate is a beast, that's the meanest, one of the meanest guys in the sport. Nick Diaz.
You went in the ring just as
I like to get a good look at what's going on because, I don't know what's happening.
He's probably like my stupid ass brother.
But I like to keep options open.
It looks like Nick's talking about boxing.
A boxing match against one of the Paul brothers.
I'd like to entertain something in the near future. We could talk about that. Could be a possibility. Either way, yeah, one of those two or something. It
looks like Nick Diaz might be boxing soon.
I got a lot going on right now, but we can sort that out.
He's
Does he motivate you to get into the boxing ring?
Oh, of course, just that's why I try to stay away from the fight game in general, just because I'm.
Maybe he's going to join the WWE and take on the other one of the Pauls. Because that other one looked like he was cosplaying as a WWE fighter. Is he in the WWE? I don't even know. I don't even know anything about these individuals.
To open a little bit of a window, if that's what it is. Just let it be known. I'm still motivated as ever, and I'm a harder worker and a better fighter than anybody that's out here. In this right now, in this day and age, and I'm still in my 20s.
Hey, no one's forgotten about you. Don't worry.
Looks fantastic.
Can't wait to see you either in the ring, in the octagon, in the cage, wherever. Thanks for joining us.
All right, so it looks like Nick Diaz might be fine. Looks like Nick Diaz is looking to line up a boxing fight. You got Jillian Love in the back with Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz. Jake Paul. They're back now talking to Sean Porter in his nice purple print suit. All right, so what do you think of this one fight we saw tonight, Bob? We're going to see if we be wrapping this up soon.
It was really fun seeing Nate Diaz fight.
It always is, right? He's always an entertaining guy.
He's a fun fighter to watch.
He is.
I think that he, however, defeated himself, which is always a little bit frustrating because he definitely could have. He could have sealed the deal in a way that was decisive.
Yes, exactly. He needed to.
Chose not to.
They were going to rob him, so he needed to be decisive.
And he knew it. He's not stupid. He's been around long enough to know.
And then they threw that MMA shit out there, you know.
I think that this was all part of some sort of an agreement. We're going to make it a trilogy. Jake's going to win the boxing, Nate's going to win the MMA, and then they're going to come back to boxing to close it out and probably have Nate Diaz be the co-main event. That's my prediction.
Nick. We might have Nick on the same card.
And then they're going to have Nick be the co-main event in his debut boxing match.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, they plan stuff out. They must have made a good amount of money with this one. I'm pretty sure. This might be bigger than the Crawford Spence fight we had recently. Who knows? This could be a big one.
I mean, Crawford is the most boring thing in the entire goddamn universe. I would probably actually rather watch the paint dry in a room than watch Terrence Crawford fight. He's so boring. He's so boring. All of the steroids in the world won't make him an interesting fighter. I mean, my dog's playing in the backyard put on a more interesting boxing match than Terrence Crawford.
I'm not too into him. His recent fight looked okay, but it looked to me like he drained Earl Spence. Just kind of a bullshit fight. But this one was okay. I thought Nate won. Both of us agree. Bob agrees with me that Nate Diaz won this fight. It was close, but at the most Jake could have got was a draw. In my book, if you're actually scoring this fairly... we score punches. We don't score, names or who makes the most money.
Eyes, it's a Nate fight or a draw. If you're scoring it with your future money, then it's a Jake Paul fight.
Yeah, they scored it for Jake. I knew they would. He would have to knock him out.
Yeah, and that's kind of the disappointing thing. You can have a fighter put on a really excellent fight and do a great job. And I'm not saying Nate was perfect.
Yeah.
But you can have a fighter do a fantastic job, and then because they're not the prospect, they're not the cash cow, you just watch it get taken away from them. And that's how you get really talented fighters to leave a sport. That's how you do it right there. That is the formula for a sport that is filled with Jake Pauls.
I mean, he's at the end of his career, so he probably doesn't care as much. He's trying to make a couple big paydays before he's done with it. That's what it seems like to me, and I think that's what he's gonna do. I think he might actually do the MMA fight, or he might move on to a Conor McGregor in the boxing ring or whatever. But I think when it comes to Conor, he'd probably money-wise, he'd probably be better off in going and fighting Jake, because Jake can have the bragging rights that he beat Nate, even though I don't think he did. But these guys might fight again. I think Jake much rather fight Nate than fight the Fury brother, because the Fury brother's not bringing in the money that I think Nate will. I think Nate's going to bring in a good amount of money. I think these guys could do a rematch, and they're going to make good money on that. They put on a fight. There was a fight happening here. There's a lot of punches thrown. Not as much hugging from Jake. And I think it's because Nate is he's an MMA fighter, and he's durable. And he was able to take the punishment. And I thought he won the fight. I thought he won. Maybe not. A lot of people would say it's not a robbery because they would say it's too close to be a robbery. But I'd say it is a robbery because they had a unanimous decision, and that's not what I saw. I think at the most Jake could have got was a draw, and that would be pushing it. That would be pushing it to get a draw, because I thought this was a Nate win. This is pretty clearly Nate win. These guys got swayed by the knockdown. But Nate got up from the knockdown, and he continued to beat Jake Paul's ass. What round was the knockdown in?
It was early. It was round 3, maybe.
Yeah, I forget. I have to go look into that. But it looked to me like Nate just rallied back. He came back.
I think that when you rewatch it, what you're going to see is Jake Paul hit him on the top of the head, knocked him off balance, and he fell over because he was also coming in for a punch. I think it was a fall.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a knockdown. They're definitely not going to score it that way, but when you actually look at the slow-mo, you see that Nate puts his hands out to catch himself.
I mean, he did fall.
If he was wobbled, if he was wobbled, I don't think he was wobbled. I think he was knocked off balance.
He was his equilibrium shot. He got hit right on the top of the head. It was good.
I don't think it was the blow that put him down. I think it was the fact that he got knocked off.
Maybe it could be the case, but it is a knockdown.
This is just like when Terrence Crawford mushed Errol Spence in the collarbone, and everybody was like, "Oh, it was a knockdown."
It was.
It was literally you knocking him down. You didn't punch him and make him lose his senses for a moment. You literally.
But in that case, he looked like he was hurt, and I think that's because he was dehydrated. But in this case, I think Nate took a shot in a scoring zone, and he went down from it. So that's counted as a knockdown. He came back from it quick because Diaz has a great recovery.
I think he came back from it quick because he just fell over.
It wasn't in the best places. It was on the top of the head.
Yeah, and it was as he was coming in for a fight, and I think that Paul hit him just hard enough to knock him off balance. I think that's what happened because he popped right back up.
Well, we have to call it what it is. It was a knockdown. But even with the knockdown, you see the score. Do you agree with this, Bob? I mean, look at this card over here. We got Diaz losing the first. He won the second. He lost the third. The knockdown was in the 5th round because I have the 8 there to represent the we had got the knockdown. Is my math correct on this? If you can take a look at these numbers.
I'm looking.
We got Nate winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds. Jake Paul won 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he has the 5 with the knockdown. So he's got the 2 points from that round, and so we have him having 5 to 6, 5 to 6. So we got Nate winning by 1 point. And if you want to go and give another round to Jake, that's tied.
I think at best it would have been.
And there's a case for the 10th round being for Nate. I think there's a case there.
There is.
I think he was lazy. I didn't like it, so I took it away.
The judges would have been absolutely in their rights to say you are taunting too much. You are not. You're not taking this quote unquote championship final whatever round.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're cruising. That's not okay. That's a totally legitimate take and a totally legitimate call. But I think that I think Nate Diaz absolutely could have won this in decisive fashion.
He could have.
Chose not to.
Body work. I don't know why he didn't go to the body.
He made a choice not to, which makes me think that this is to set up some kind of a trilogy. And since Nick is in there talking about him coming to the boxing ring, I have a feeling that Nick's boxing debut will be in the second boxing match between Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. And I think that Nick Diaz will be the co-main event for that.
I would not be shocked. I think Bob's got really good. She's got really good eyes for this. She can see the angles, what they're angling towards, and we could see it. They brought in the brother at the end. They brought in Nick Diaz, the legend. I can see them pairing him up with possibly a Logan Paul. Who knows? Or a Conor McGregor. Or who knows, a Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler's recently retired. Robbie Lawler is recently retired from the UFC, and Nick Diaz's last fight in the UFC was Robbie Lawler. So it wouldn't shock me if they brought in a Robbie Lawler and a Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler again in the boxing. Wouldn't shock me, and I would watch it. I would. We're gonna hit the robbery alert for this because I think it was.
Because honestly, fuck Jake Paul.
Because fuck Jake Paul, just like Bob said. We're going to hit the robbery alert, This is a robbery alert. We saw it coming. I called it. I said that Jake was going to come and jump in and try to wrestle for his life. The kid landed some good punches because he's way bigger than Nate. But he was wrestling for his life, and Nate looked like he took his foot off the gas way more than he should have ever. I mean, great, he could do the taunting. He's showing that the kid is not on his level. If they were in the UFC, Nate would have definitely choked Jake out, or he would have broke something, or he would have.
Who knows? But this looks like it was a setup.
And yeah, he looks like he was taking it a little bit
So-
easy towards the end because, like Bob said, where's the fight gonna be? If you're just gonna choke, if you're just gonna beat him in boxing, then what's the point of having the MMA? The point is that Jake has claimed boxing, so Jake wins the boxing, and then they make the agreement for the MMA fight. If he beats him in boxing, how do you set up the MMA fight? It doesn't make sense. So Bob is hitting the nail on the head here, but we're getting out of here, people. This is FU Sports. We work very hard here, even though our stream's a little messed up. We try to get here when we can. We're going to try to get here
right on time. We get here for the important stuff.
We're going to try to get
Who
here
gives
on.
a shit about Avila Stevens?
We're going to try to get
Stevens
here
in.
on time. We're going to get here maybe an hour or two before the card
All
starts.
those random chicks. Who
We're
gives?
gonna-
Who cares?
We're going to get our
Nobody was
audio.
here for that. People were here for this.
We are going to get our audio all right. We're going to get it all fixed up, and we're going to do a proper stream. We tried. Hopefully, this audio sounds okay. We work hard for you people. Hit that like button and subscribe to FU Sports. And we're getting out of here. Bob, you got any last things to say before the show ends?
Fuck you. Good night.
Wow, that's pretty messed up.
It's who I am as a person.
We got some good subscribers here, man. You can't just be telling them to go fuck themselves.
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad
What
thing.
the fuck is this piece of shit?
All right, Joe. You don't need to have those harsh words for our stream. All right, this is FU Sports. Remember, for the 1,000th time, subscribe, and we love you.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Good night.
Retro.
Are you gonna stop streaming or? Was that good? Do you know if we had people in there?
It doesn't matter.